All right, let's get it. Let's get it. The fuck's going on with my background? The fuck? Okay. There we go. Is this like not focusing? Let's turn this on. Let's get this on. This. Nice. All right. All right. All right, welcome to the stream, everybody. This is a Crypto Rap exclusive, and I'm your host, Ynot, greatest crypto rapper of all time, and we are locked in the trenches. Another day, another dollar, talking all things cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, decentralized finance, cryptographic encryption, Bitcoin, altcoins, meme coins, and everything in between coins. It's a pleasure to see you guys. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, XRP, BNB, Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano, Hyperliquid, Monero, Chainlink, etc. You name it, we got it. Welcome to the stream. And we are locked in. It's a beautiful day here in the trenches. Hello, hello. Thanks for the heart me. I appreciate that. Welcome aboard. Hello. Wow, this Fortnite Kid coin is going absolutely parabolic. 120K at the top. A ton of volume in this. Pretty much just launched. Migrated about 5 minutes ago. It ended up rug pulling pretty close to its launch, falling all the way to 4,000 market cap and then shredding up to 160. Imagine bidding this at 4,000 market cap just for it to shred up to 160. That's a 40 times. A 40 times right out of the gate if you had just aped. Welcome. It's good to see you guys. This is a Crypto Rap exclusive, and I'm your host. Why not? How we doing today? Show some love. Drop some W's in the chat. Put a comment in the chat if you're rocking with the stream. Tap that like button. Let's get it. Do I have a code for Lucky still? Yeah, absolutely. It's CryptoRap0226 or something like that. We're actually going to be sitting down for a class. The founder of Lucky Miner and the founder of an AI-based investment platform is coming to teach a class literally in 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, we're going to be sitting down with the high-profile CEO of an AI investment app, as well as the founder of Lucky Miner. We're going to have a round table. Palm trees, nice. Nice profile picture, bro. Is that supposed to be me? This motherfucker, he put me as his profile picture. That's crazy. 0226. 0226. Yo, welcome to the stream, everybody. We're locked in right now. This is a Crypto Rap exclusive, and I'm your host. Why not? Yep. We're here. Yo, welcome. It's good to see you guys. Another day, another dollar. Pleasure to have you guys. Let's jump in. You say, why not chart moving before the stream? Oh, geez. Why is it going up, man? Why is it going up? It was supposed to go down. It was supposed to go down, but it's going up. You're cooking on Unk? Oh my goodness gracious. I didn't even realize. Unk is 15 million market cap right now? Yo, chat. Where were you guys? Oh my goodness gracious. We watched this for days. Under a million market cap. Holy moly. 15 mil? You know, they airdropped damn near 60% of the supply on this token. That means that their airdrop is now worth over $5 million. $5 million worth of tokens that they gave away for free on this coin. Isn't that crazy? $5 million worth of tokens that they gave away for free. That is damn near impressive. Damn near impressive. Wow. Hello there. What platform do you use to spot early crypto opportunities? This right here is called Axiom, and it's helpful for spotting early opportunities because of this Pulse tab right here. Pulse will show you coins when they come out brand new. Hunter4587 says, is Unk gambling? What do you mean is Unk gambling? Brother, this thing's at $15 million market cap. $15 million market cap. Is that gambling? This thing has a higher market cap than any local business in the city that you're from, bro. Wow. I can't believe this breakout, honestly. 15 million is really impressive. What happens if someone sells $1 million? Well, nobody has $1 million to sell. The top holder in here has 185,000, 180,000, 150,000. Liquidity is 350,000. Yo, welcome to the stream, everybody. We've got a class coming up at the top of the hour. Killa says, LOL, I asked everyone about this at 400K, and what happened? You were in the coin at 100K, and you held to 15 million, right? You definitely held for 150 million, right? Yeah, class at the top of the hour featuring the founder of a very successful investment AI company. We've got a CEO of an AI investment company coming to teach a class on how to invest utilizing AI. He also built a number of successful companies, including the first ever NFT company, period. But interestingly, the first ever NFT company that was licensed by the MLB, Major League Baseball. The first ever NFT company that was licensed, and I think only to this day, licensed by the MLB. They built it all the way back in 2016. So the founder of the first ever MLB company in crypto is coming to teach a class later this evening in about 30 minutes. It's going to be a banger. If you guys like baseball, if you like crypto, you would be in a good place. Damn, I wish I knew Remus was behind Unk. I would have aped. He's not behind Unk, but actually the founder of Unk is a stalwart of the Chill House community. And so he airdropped a lot of the top Chill House community members, including Remus. Remus is Chill House Cabal. Fibonacci, who's the guy who made this coin, he's Chill House Cabal. Rico, of course, is Chill House Cabal. Every successful meme coin in the market can be traced back to Chill House. Every successful meme coin in the market can be traced back to Chill House. And this is no exception. Topping out at $17 million market cap. Insane motion on this. Pretty impressive. Did I have the alpha? Let's just say my Unk airdrop was pretty generous. Have you seen Dumb Money at all? I truly just want to hear your thoughts on it. Yeah, we saw it a couple days ago. Dumb Money. Some of those airdrop totals are now snaking up to 6 figures. They airdropped literally over $100,000 to some wallets. Isn't that crazy? This thing topped out at 2.9 million, 2 million middle of the road. We've been following this for a couple of days. It's been pretty impressive growth. But yeah. They're at 150K. Yeah, some of the top airdrops, 180K, 180K, 150K, 150K, 160K, 180K, 140K. Actually, 230K on this wallet right here. They cooked quite a bit. And you know what's funny? He's already sold 100,000. This wallet has already sold 100,000. So people are already realizing 6-figure P&Ls from this coin. It is impressive. It is impressive. Dav says, hey, no hate. Why are you not allowed to provide financial advice? Who's watching? It has nothing to do about who's watching. I don't provide financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an economist. I don't have a degree in financial advisory. I'm a rapper. And if you take financial advice from a rapper, then you're going to die broke, bro. Let's keep looking around. Here's a coin called YN. Wicked up to 760,000, bottomed out at 192, now at 522. Pretty impressive on the leg up right here. So far, so great. Let's get it. 24 minutes until the class. It's going to be a pretty banger class. Zoom in on this. How high do I think Unk can run up to? I think it's already exceeded everybody's expectations. 15 million is insane. I would not expect it to do much better than where it's at right now. But it's already exceeded my expectations before. I was pretty bearish on it when it was at 2 million. Ended up wicking to 4 million. It's just been moving like crazy. So, yeah, I don't know. I would already consider it overvalued, if I'm being real. But you never know. You're holding 14 SOL in profit. Should you dump it? Brother, you should have sold at 15.5 million. You should have sold on this wick to 18 million. You're allowed to swing trade, you know. You don't have to just let your money sit in something. It's chopping up in a range. You sell above this line. You buy below this line. It's pretty easy. What's Fortnite Kid? I have no fucking clue, bro. What is Fortnite Kid? Fortnite kids get blamed for ruining the trenches. Fortnite kids are the opposite of the unks. They don't hold, they don't believe, they aren't slow. Fortnite kids are the fast multi-wallet extractors, sending supply to Fortnite kids. So they're sending supply to Fortnite kids. That means they're sending supply to Orangey. They're sending supply to Jack Duval. They're sending supply to Scented, to Cupsy. Sending supply to Ethan Prosper. And all of these other broccoli-headed Fortnite kids. Hellshop says, what more do people expect? People not selling at 18 million in this market? You can't be so greedy. That's what I'm saying, bro. If your coin snaked up to $15 million market cap and you are still holding it, then that is a blessing. That is a God-given blessing. And if you can't realize profit at that moment, then I'm sorry, bro. You were never meant to make it. Like, name one other coin that's hit that. There's been no other coin that's hit that in recent history. It is just unusual.
This is a Crypto Rap exclusive.
You got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. Did you see Big Fat Hug? No, I did not. This guy says, I'm done with memes. I got liquidated. All right, bro. See you never. Thanks for the 20 bandos. I appreciate your exit liquidity. It was a generous donation to the market. I'll take your money and I'll spend it well. I'll buy a new AP, bro. I'll buy a new AP. All right, let's keep locking in. So we got class in about 20 minutes, chat. Class in about 20 minutes. You guys don't want to miss this one. How to invest with AI. It's going to be crazy.
This is a Crypto Rap exclusive.
We're sitting down with the CEO of a company, actually CEO of 2 companies. And they're going to be chopping it up. Part of our Crypto Masterclass series. The guy's going to be talking about two separate companies that he built about AI investing strategies. You're not getting this anywhere else, chat. Classic Downson bot. Downson bot at what? Downson's trading bot loses money on every single trade. He bought this for $42, sold it for $37, and then it went times 5. Oh my God, why is his trading bot so bad? It loses money every single time. I can't believe it. Oh man. The Duve. The Duve. They made a coin for the Duve. There's a trending page about Jack Duvall hacking Matt Fury account and making Pepe coin. Duve was the hacker. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but Matt Fury, the original artist of Pepe, he was hacked. And somebody published a meme coin from his X account, his official X account. The meme coin went parabolic. It was actually a bags launch. Went to a multi-$10 million market cap and then absolutely collapsed, rug pulling once they realized it was a hack. Oldest trick in the book. You guys might be too new for this, but it is so common for accounts to get hacked and then launch meme coins from them. Wow. There was just a new initiative by World Liberty Financial. They're aiming to extract $1.5 billion. $1.5 billion. Hell Shop says, Duve didn't do it. Fusi literally told me that it was David Rose who did it. Well, I don't know who any of those people are. But of course the Duve didn't hack the exchange, bro. That was just a joke. Anyone else having issues using Coinbase app today, lagging and not showing stats? No, I used it fine. I did a pretty big withdrawal earlier and I didn't have any issues. Don't you know, pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. Let's keep rocking it. Welcome to the stream, everybody. This is a Crypto Rap exclusive, and we are locked in the trenches right now. This coin is certainly the most exciting coin in the market, wicking all the way up to $17.6 million market cap. How high do I think Unc will go? Luke, if you are not in this coin already, then you are out of luck. Do not go buying any coin in this market over $10 million market cap. If you are buying any coin in this market above $10 million market cap, then you are absolutely, utterly, and unequivocally cooked, bro. It's damn near one of the worst things you can do. One of the worst things you can do. Over $1 mil? Yeah, I would say over $1 mil, but over 10 mil is just out of the question. If you're buying a meme coin over $10 million market cap in early 2026, then you are throwing your money into a bonfire. Here's a coin called Peace Frog. This one ended up wicking at 3.29 million. Pretty impressive run up. Good to see you, Black Inu. Welcome, welcome. We're locked in, looking around, trying to find the hottest and freshest plays. Make sure you guys are signed up for the class. You don't want to miss this one. We're sitting down with 2 CEOs and talking about how to make the most out of investing using AI. The informational edge that AI provides. So you can invest like a Fortune 500. You can invest like a hedge fund. I'm pretty excited for this class. Part of our masterclass series. Jupiter got free rewards for users right now. What's the reward? How do you sign up? wap.com/cryptorap. You got $5 for free from Jupiter? That's pretty nice. Well done, bro. Jeez Louise, look at this. This chart is totally artificial. They're just washing volume through this, but it is wicking up pretty crazy. That link that's down there in the chat, wap.com/cryptorap, that's the one. Hey, what's good, bro? Pleasure to see you. Welcome to the stream. Alon House looks good here. I got a level with you, bro. Oh my fucking god. Is this real? Is it down at 60,000 market cap? Why does this look good here? Are you serious? Studious. Come on, bro. It does not look good here. It looks fucking terrible here. What are you talking about? This shit pretty much rug pulled. It's give it up, bro. It's over. It's done. This coin is never coming back. Send it straight to zero with haste. Yes, because they silenced it on front ends. Absolutely, bro. But what that just tells its own story, bro. Why would you buy a coin that you can't even buy? Yeah, send this shit straight to zero. It means get out of Solana. So true, bro. You can't make a coin out of the home address of the founder of Pump Fun? Get out of Solana. Peep, hey, LOL. Did it finally rug pull? It's like one of the most boring, probably one of the most boring coins I've ever seen, honestly. Is it boring? Of course it's boring. What? Their app is pretty fire. Wonderful, bro. Enjoy. Meanwhile, there's been like 6 different app coins that have launched since this project came out that have all done like a multi-million market cap and then round trip the whole thing. The fuck? This is my favorite part of this coin. My favorite part of this coin is this cluster right here. This looks very legit. Dev said that cluster is bullish though, for sure. Yeah, I don't trust coins that have large. There's a couple reasons why I think that coin sucks. For one, nobody in crypto is ever going to make a social media app that competes with the social media apps that we already use every single day. That's just, it's unrealistic. It just doesn't make any sense. It would take true lightning in a bottle, 1 in a million chance. It would be insane. It would be like another Facebook story, right? The other reason I think it sucks is the whole premise of the app is stupid. You have people and AI in one place. Brother, that's every social media we already use anyways. The other thing I don't like about it is obviously the massive bundles. The massive bundles, they're a little bit suspicious, in my opinion. And then the other thing I don't like about it is the undisclosed paid advertisements. They've paid a bunch of people to do undisclosed paid advertisements. Why? Why not disclose the paid advertisements? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if you're going to pay someone to do an ad for your thing, that should be disclosed. I mean, that's the legal thing to do. So yeah, illegal advertising, massive clusters of bubbles, an app that sucks in a market that they can't even compete in. Send it straight to zero with haste. Although it's not going to zero, it's just chopping up in the same price range over time, so. Apparently Nova broke down that Remus has 30% of UNC on like 30 wallets. I don't know why people treat Remus like some kind of market mastermind. Remus got lucky on one play. That's what he's famous for. His track record since then has been losing. He's lost. He has a net negative P&L. He literally only ever made one play. He's not some kind of market mastermind. He's not some kind of insider. He's not some kind of expert. He's a guy that got lucky. So I doubt it. Holding 30% of UNC with 30 wallets just doesn't even make sense. He's not even the guy that made the coin. Fibonacci is the guy that made the coin. Fibonacci airdropped supply to dozens of people. Actually, over 100 people got airdropped. That's why the wallets are connected, because they literally airdropped the supply to over 100 people. Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense. 8 minutes until our class. 8 minutes until our class. You guys want to make sure you guys are signed up. The name of the project with the physical hardware for the mining, it's right behind me. It's Entropy. Entropy. Entropy.lol. Just entropy.lol is the website. Just entropy.lol. Chart went absolutely parabolic. You guys do not want to miss this class that's coming up right now. This is one of the ones that I'm most excited for, and we've already had so many bangers. But we're literally sitting down with the CEO of multiple multi-million-dollar companies, and he's breaking down all the secret sauce on how to leverage AI to make better investment decisions. It's pretty impressive. I honestly was surprised when we got this signed up. It's going to be a banger. How do you sign up? You sign up on the WAP. The link is right down there in the chat. wap.com/cryptorap. I just pinned it. Sweet. Anything else been moving today? That Fortnite kid is back up to 135, but it's kind of chopping it up. Doesn't look too crazy, honestly. I'm surprised Unk made a break for 18 million. I can't believe that people saw this coin go up to 15 million and didn't just sell. Like, I can't believe there's people still holding this coin. Honestly, what are you waiting for? Like, even if this coin does go to 40 million market cap, like, I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. It's greedy. Biblical level greed. Biblical level greed coming out of Unk holders right now. All right, chat. We're starting the class in 5 minutes. I'm going to go take a piss so I can be ready for the class. If you guys are not signed up, go sign up at the WAP. I'm going to go take a piss right now. Tap that screen. Drop a comment in the chat. I'll bring you guys along with me so you can hear the stream. Here we go. All right, let's get back to it. All right, let's get it. Let's do it. All right, let's get it. I'm just reading these comments. That shit is so funny. Yeah, that was actually my my shrimp tank. You know, I have an indoor shrimp farm, so that was my indoor shrimp farm tank. Fooled you guys. Let's keep looking around. Class is starting in 2 minutes. Be there or be square. The Discord is the place to be. It's going to be a banger. You don't want to miss out. You guys are so funny.
This is a crypto.
Studio says, it's okay. Mine is a shrimp too. Yep. You know what? I don't think I got it all, chat. I think I have to. Okay, great. Nice. We're back. All right, let's get it. Yeah, we're starting the class in T-1 minute. Be there or be square. You're not going to want to miss it. wap.com/cryptorap has all the info you need. Class is actually going to start pretty much right now. Pretty much right now. Nice. We've already got quite an audience in here. Pleasure to have you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Let's I'll set up the tech stuff on my end, and then we can get started. All of our speakers for the panel, Intangible Investor and Fosri, if you could just raise your hand to request to speak by clicking the little request to speak button. I can invite you guys up here, and then we can get rocking and rolling. Hey, Connor. Good to see you, bro. We're about to start a class right now, Connor. Sitting down with a CEO to talk about leveraging AI technology to make the most out of your investments. It's going to be a banger. How you doing today? We had Brennan come by for a class on Tappy Bird earlier this week on Sunday. Connor, I would love to have you in for a class someday. I haven't wanted to ask you because your time is so valuable, but I know that the people would love to hear from you. Yo, welcome to the stage.
Hey.
It's a pleasure to talk to you again. How you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic.
You usually do these off camera or you do them on camera?
I do both. I'll come on camera right now. Let me just plug my headset in. All right. I think that worked.
I wasn't going to go on camera if you didn't go on camera.
The classic work can't be the one to make the first move.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Or the power move where you stay off camera and the other person stays on camera.
Yeah, right. Can't see I'm working remote. All right, let me start the recording here and then switch the screen.
Can you give me permission to share my screen too?
Absolutely. Let me see. Is that something you have to request or?
I don't know. It's like I hover over share screen and it has a
Interesting.
little X out.
Try again right now. It might work now.
It's just kind of like a do not disturb sign when I hover over.
Interesting. If you try again, it doesn't work right now? I think you have all the proper roles. Let me switch this.
Oh yeah, here you go. A different spot.
Perfect.
Okay, cool.
Sweet. Let me just got to change some screens on my end and then we can get started. Boom. All right. How you been feeling about the market lately? I mean, it's been way more volatile than than what it's been recent history.
Yeah,
Huh?
that's what the market does. The market does. It's manic depressive.
That's real. Now, the landscape is just totally different this year than it's been in previous years.
Yeah, different, but kind of the same. It's just what it does. It's just it goes up and goes down. People get real antsy and nervous, and then they sell everything at the bottom, and then
Classic.
you know.
Well, our audience knows a lot about buying high and selling low, so dope. All right, we are good to go when you are. Welcome everybody that's here. We got an awesome class lined up. I was not expecting this. I just got the text 2 days ago, and Fosri set it up. He was like, "Yo, can Randy come on?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, bro." We've got a lot to talk about. Honestly, it's a privilege to have you here, and
Thank you, bud.
I'm really stoked to hear what you have to say. This is part of the ongoing crypto masterclass series. We've had over 10 people come in and talk about various areas of the markets, both crypto and not crypto. Everything from app
Hmm.
development and project building to building a personal brand and on to more technical things, technical analysis, macro analysis, meme coin trading, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, over 10 different speakers, combined decades in experience. It's been pretty action packed, and the folks get a lot out of it. There's a lot of enthusiasm in our audience, and then also in the recordings that get posted as well. A lot of people watch those recordings. We're also live on TikTok right now. We've got an audience of about 6, 7 people. Uh, and yeah, we're live on other platforms as well, but I don't have those viewership metrics. Chat, you guys are looking at the man, the myth, the legend right now. I'll let him do his own intro, but truly a wealth of information and somebody that's been around the block and the blockchain for quite some time. But here to talk more about some conventional investing as well and the standard stock market and things outside of cryptocurrency. So a little bit of overlap on our usual wheelhouse, and then a little bit outside the wheelhouse. But without further ado, by all means, take it away.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Randy, serial entrepreneur. I've been starting companies for about 25 years. Sold my first company when I was about 28. Then later, I had the pleasure of co-founding one of the first iPhone gaming companies back in 2007. I was a launch partner with the App Store. We had 14 of the first 100 free iPhone apps. That eventually became a large ad network that was sold for $350 million. So at a pretty young age, I had to kind of figure out what to do with money, because what happens when you make a little scratch is everybody comes out of the woodwork and says, I know how to help you with your money," and usually it's to part you from your money. So not knowing anything, coming in cold, not coming from money, not having anybody teach me about money, I kind of had to pick it up. And so I went directly to, this was like peak Warren Buffett back then. Warren Buffett's a little older now, but back then he was sort of in his peak. And I went to Omaha, went to his shareholder meeting, the Woodstock for Capitalists, and just started taking a deep dive into how you value an investment. Fast forward, how I got to know Fosry and Henrik. Well, later on Henrik, but got to know Fosry. We co-founded a company that actually had, what got us into crypto was we co-founded a company in 2017 that was actually, I'd say arguably one of the first NFT, one of the first legit NFT companies. We actually had a license with Major League Baseball. We were early, 2017, kind of. We timed the slow bleed crypto bear market perfectly. So the 2000. If you guys been around since 2017, you'll know that wasn't like the V-shaped recoveries to today. It was just years and years. So anyways, we launched it into this MLB NFT project. It was super cool. We really enjoyed it. Had Otani's rookie. I don't know if you're baseball fans, but baseball season's up, and we have Otani's rookie NFT was in that collection. We had the Babe Ruth NFTs.
That's crazy.
Only Babe Ruth NFTs. Only Babe Ruth NFTs that will ever exist. They'll never get that license from the state again. So, anyways, and then we also did a Star Trek NFT collection. That was really Fosry's favorite thing. He got to speak at a Star Trek convention, so that was his dream come true. And then, bring us to the present. The AI boom took off, and I saw a lot of the, obviously I was using AI for everything like everybody else, all sorts of things. I started using it for researching stocks, kind of doing some of the fundamental analysis that I would do by hand, but with a certain number of hours per day, you can only do a certain amount of research on stocks. There's about 30,000 stocks in the world, tradable securities. And, if you're really going to do a deep research on, it's like reading a white paper or anything. If you're going to do deep research, it's actually quite time consuming. So, realistically, a human can probably look at 5 to 10 stocks at a time. If you're superhuman, maybe you can kind of keep 100 stocks in your mind, but not thousands. So I started, seeing how I could use, ChatGPT, Gemini, etc. And what we quickly found out was they can't handle uh, the large document sets that SEC filing. In fact, they're kind of lazy. If you ask ChatGPT what stock I should invest in, it'll just hit Reddit. It'll try and kind of find the quickest, most token efficient path to an answer, and that's not what we wanted. We wanted a token inefficient, long form research of SEC filings. If you don't know what an SEC filing is, it's probably worth just mentioning because maybe not everybody is familiar. But all publicly traded companies, your Microsofts, your Oracles, they're all required to file these regular reports with the Securities Exchange Commission that are very technocratic. They're very formal. They're written in legalese and accounting language. They're the only truth. Like when you have people kind of talking about stocks on Reddit and theories and AI is going to do this. Really, when you go to the SEC filing, that's the only truth because those are the audited financials, and then you pair that with the investor calls, and it's very strict. The SEC is very strict about promotion. You can't be promotional in that material. Just like in crypto, nobody promotes, right? So back before the SEC, basically people had like bucket shops, and they would just promote their stock and say, oh, it's going. Well, these SEC filings are very, very non-promotional. They're facts. And so if you can read them on a forensic accounting basis and really track how the numbers line up, you can pull out the truth. And that's basically, it's not rocket science. It's just very, very hard. The accounting is, it's very, very, I guess boring would be the term. It's very time consuming, boring. And the forensic accounting is a particular discipline. It's a particular challenge that a lot of people can't get past because the way accounting rules work is even if you're an accountant, there's a lot of ways to hide things in the numbers. So even though these reports are very technocratic and official, if you don't know how to read them properly, there can be a footnote that completely augments the way revenue is recognized. And that's the type of stuff that a forensic accountant or a value investor will put together. So anyways, that was the point of Unvault, which we've kind of been playing with the term SEC chat, but I think we're going to go back to Unvault and to kind of roll it all together. I'm going to be using SEC chat today. That's up on the screen, I believe, right now. And yeah, the idea is basically just to be able to have Gemini or ChatGPT do long form deep research where it targets the SEC filing and investor calls primarily. As a secondary, it then looks at news and sentiment and technical analysis as a sort of a secondary, really tertiary pass. And the idea is to be able to run multiple reports on individual stocks. So much like you can have 10 analysts look at one stock and kind of come with 10 different opinions, and you can see how much consensus there is. And then I think that one of the neat things is then you can follow on and ask questions, and no questions too smart or too stupid. If you don't know what price earnings is, you can say, what do you mean by price earnings? If you don't know, like I was doing banks today, and I'm honestly, banks are not my strongest point, and the way you value a bank is completely different from how you value a tech stock. So a bank has all these sort of different measurements that you for quality. And I was learning some stuff, kind of a little familiar with it, but I was learning stuff as I go. And same thing with like insurance. Insurance is another field I'm not super familiar with. So sometimes I'm asking stupid questions, and I'm a knowledgeable investor, but sometimes like still you get if you don't know something, you're better off being able to ask and sort of see like why. And you can just keep pressing it until you get comfortable with the investment. I mean, it'll give you investment advice right out the gate, but the strength I think is to be able to kind of press the research and do it on a large scale, right? Do it on a scale where you can really find those diamonds in those needles in a haystack.
Absolutely.
So your show, I don't know what you want to do.
Yeah. So I just that gave me a question to pitch at you while you drink your water. That the landscape
Coffee.
of investing.
I got a match
coffee.
energy.
Like a real founder. the landscape of investing has changed so much because of AI. I mean, and this is something that still is on the left side of the adoption curve. Not many folks are utilizing this technology in a clever enough way to really give them an edge in the market. And at the end of the day, it's all about edge in the market, right? And so you've built something that's unlike anything else out there, and that folks can utilize this to really sort of increase their breadth of perception on what stocks are performing in what ways, what companies are viable investments, et cetera, at a scale that we have previously never seen before in human existence. Is that a fair characterization?
Yeah, that's right. So the reason that people aren't doing this right now is because out of the box, ChatGPT or Gemini, if you give it 100 pages of SEC filings, and these SEC filings can run into the 300-400 pages, especially when we start putting the investor calls in the news. If you give a ChatGPT 100 pages, at about the 50-page mark, it starts hallucinating. The term hallucinating. It doesn't happen all at once. It's not a light switch. It just starts, you know, going off. And by the time you get to page 80 or 90, it's just making shit up, right? So that's what Unvault is putting rails on for. It's specifically designed for large corpuses of information. And preventing those hallucinations, and then double checking. It's very recursive. It goes back and it's like, are you sure? So it's not token efficient in that sense, but we're not trying to be. What we're trying to do is make, I'm investing like millions of dollars on this, so I'm not like trying to be token efficient. I'm trying to be accurate. So it's a big there's a big gap between the goals of your typical AI, where people are kind of using it as a search engine plus, like how do I bake banana bread, boom, that's a one-shot answer. But when you really want to pour over hundreds of pages with thick accounting, you don't want it to be token efficient. So that's why this is not being done. And quite honestly, the people who do, the people on CNBC, the people who write for the Wall Street Journal, they're not AI tech programmers. They're people who, Warren Buffett, he always said, I don't do technology. I don't understand technology. He bought Apple, but only as a consumer brand later. So in that sense, they don't have the kind of, I think, way of thinking. They probably don't even know it's not working. Like, a lot of the people who use ChatGPT for investment advice probably think it's working because it's giving them an answer, but they don't realize how flawed the answer is if it's just hitting Reddit and just like, some guy on Reddit says this is a buy, or. And the other thing to really emphasize is that this is a particular style of investing called fundamental analysis. And this style of investing is what I believe is the right way to look at stocks. And the way you look at it is that a stock's value is the discounted present value of all its future earnings. Now, that's a academic kind of fancy way of saying stocks are money trees and they grow money, and you pick the money, and then you can use the money to either pay out dividends or buy back the stock, right? So the management or retain the earnings to grow the stock because if there's a way to reinvest. So like companies like Google are famously good at retaining their earnings and creating new inventions like Waymo, right? Other businesses are not good at that, like a Kraft, Heinz, has no way to really reinvest their money. Like the brand is stale, it's doing what it's doing, so it's not going to grow. But there still might be a price you buy it because it's just generating so much cash, and it's able to pay out so much dividend or buy back so much of its own stock. And what I mean by buy back its own stock is basically you have you think of a stock as a pie, a company as a pie, and it's sliced up into these individual pieces that are stock. Well, if a company buys back 50% of its stock, then literally everybody else's stock doubles. Their ownership doubles. Just the same way you would own a farm, or you would own a store, or any other kind of asset like that. So it's a little different from like your typical crypto asset that is closer to gold, as a comp, right? And that it's you're basically saying like, what is this going to be worth versus what somebody will pay for it in the future, right? And that could be, you could use technical analysis. You could use, forums to try and kind of get the idea of how things are going. With a stock, it doesn't even matter. Like if nobody's talking about a stock and it's just generating a lot of cash and buying back its own shares, it'll go up. Like nobody has to talk about it. It's just the physics of business. So that's what this does. So I want to be like kind of very clear. There's a lot of AI technical analysis systems. There's a lot of them. I would personally steer clear of them, if to be honest. Like I think a lot of them are very scammy. They're sort of just ChatGPT wrappers, just trying to get your money. If you're gonna do that, just throw it in ChatGPT. Honestly, just throw a chart in ChatGPT and say like, what do you think? If if you don't know what you're doing, and I think it's fine. I mean, it'll give you a really solid, as good as a technical maybe not the best, but it'll give you a really solid answer. Um, this is not using technical analysis as a primary. So the unsatisfying part of this for a lot of young investors is that this is not for short-term trading necessarily. So, I probably everybody starts hanging. This is where everybody starts hanging up, right? So, unfortunately, this is the arbitrage here of value investing is time. It's if you can be patient and take the pain, but you know that but you can look and you can evaluate the company not based on what the price is doing, but based on how the underlying company is performing over a long period of time. That's the arbitrage. That's the advantage, because most people can't patiently hold a good company through a bear market. Look at like recently, like the whole narrative that AI is going to destroy software. Right? So Fosbury develops software with AI, and he'll be the first to tell you like, yeah, like it makes it a lot more efficient, and there will be a lot, some software development jobs that maybe especially entry level that are shed, but it's not going to replace Microsoft or SAP or even like Adobe, right? Adobe's a company that classically everybody's like, well, I generate it and Chat GPT, so I can do art now. I couldn't do art before. What do you need Adobe for, right? But that's just not what Adobe does. Like Adobe does entire creative workflows, and they have just a lot of lock-ins. A lot of their revenue is honestly contracted for years out. So this is where the fear and panic and the ability to sort of say, okay, and now by the way, if Adobe starts putting up bad numbers in the accounting, I will change my mind. I'm not dogmatically saying I understand 5 years into the future of AI, but I'm going to rely on the SEC filing accounting numbers. I did the same thing with when Meta, like when Meta was in the doghouse a few years back. Everybody thought nobody was going to use Instagram anymore and Mombook, and TikTok was going to eat it all a whole lunch. And the numbers they kept putting up were really good financially. So it was like, I mean, honestly, I don't use Instagram or Facebook personally. I don't really like them that much. I hate WhatsApp because all the moms groups and stuff on WhatsApp. I don't use any of their suite of products, but they kept putting up good numbers. And so that's the kind of disconnect. And again, very unsatisfying if you're sort of like trying to get in and out, right, from a trading standpoint, because honestly, that's why I'm arbitraging against people who are trading in and out, because I'm willing to just hold to the pain. Another way of putting it, Henrik, is if the stock goes down, I don't get sad. So when most people like see their Bitcoin or their stock go down, they actually feel like a visceral like, that sucks. Like, commiserate about it. And
Yeah.
you have terms like bear market and,
This is something
slow
I talk
bleed
about
bear
all the
market.
time with folks, is that
Yeah.
this is a natural ebb and flow, and that you can really rely on things like fundamentals and having conviction is something that we talk about a lot in cryptocurrency, and conviction is something that's developed over time through research and through study of what an asset really provides in terms of value. I think you're right to characterize a lot of our audience that's watching right now as these kind of short-term gratification. How do we get as much money in as short of a time frame as possible? But as he says, chat, these are long-term opportunities. You are young. You don't have to worry
Yeah.
about the quick. You don't have to worry about the instant. And actually, on a long enough time frame, you're going to be in a better position by studying the fundamentals and sort of connecting with a project that actually has something of value to provide, bull or bear, and holding that for a long enough time to really see the fruits of that labor, so to speak. I mean, it's not your labor; you just have to thug it out.
It's it's definitely. I don't see anything morally wrong with speculation or trading. Like I don't see anything wrong with it, and I also don't see anything wrong with allocating a certain amount of your money toward that, and a certain amount of your money towards your sort of longer term high conviction. But what I would actually encourage is that you put most of your money towards the highest conviction stuff and really just continue to question your basic beliefs and do the research. And you'd rather have, the diversification is sort of the mantra, and there's nothing wrong with it, by the way. If you just want to buy the S&P 500 and call it a day, that's perfectly valid. But if you are going to be active, or or if you just want to buy Bitcoin and call it a day, that is, it's fine. But if you want to be active, if you want to actually do stuff, it's okay to bucket your strategies. But then that also gives you the opportunity to say, like, over time, what's performing better. And I can promise you the one that's high conviction, low turnover is going to be your better performer. And yeah, time in the market beats timing the market. And I know what's a funny thing about it too, Henry, because everybody starts out young with no money. So the gripe is why do I care? I have so little money. But the way that compounding works is when it takes off, it takes off. So it kind of looks like it's bullshit, compounding slow, and everybody gives up or doesn't stay in long enough for it to launch. It's a very funny phenomenon. I mean, and, I'm talking like years. I'm not talking like months of compounding. I'm talking like years of compounding. But you want to, I mean, especially if you're like young, you want to give yourself that edge. And it's not this hustle or that hustle. It's like you can do this on top of your other jobs, hustles, whatever. I mean, this isn't like I think people also get real binary about it. Like, oh, I'm going to be you probably shouldn't be a full-time trader. Like that probably shouldn't be your whole thing. Like you should do it. And that's where I think Unvault's really powerful, because tools like Unvault allow you to still do it at a sophisticated level without it being like your full-time job. Like you could spend 2 years going to accounting school trying to learn, forensic accounting and reading all the books, and you could, read SEC filings and take classes, and I think that's a good kind of long-term goal. Or you can use a tool like Unvault, kind of get started, and learn as you go, and just invest a little bit, test the waters, see what works, see what doesn't work.
How does the little guy, who is most of the people watching the program right now, folks that are stuck in the 9 to 5, stuck in the rat race, looking for that way out, in a sense, how do they take advantage of some of these phenomenons like compound gains and use tools like Unvault to make the most out of the scratch that they have, because everyone's spread so thin right now, and inflation across the board, gas prices going up. These are folks that are barely making ends meet. How do they stretch what few dollars they have to make sure that maybe on a 10-year time frame or on a 20-year time frame, they're in a much more comfortable spot than where they are now?
Well, I mean, I'm going to give the old man advice of like you have to invest in yourself first, right? So like, make sure you're in like you know, look, people say like life is short. If you're in a job you don't like, life is very, very long. It's about the worst thing. It almost happened to me, by the way. Like, like early on in my career, I found myself my first job out of college. I'm like, I saw all these miserable people walking around. I'm like, oh man, that can't be me. So I got out. But I think that's, first and foremost. Again, you don't need a lot of money to start investing, though, right? Like this day and age, like you can start investing pretty modest sums. I think part of it is like also mindset of like I live far below my means. I've always lived far below my means, and I know that's like not very crypto, but like but sometimes I feel like you can like look at like your assets, you like your accomplishment and your investment as your Ferrari. You know what I mean? Like I know people don't like walk around with their like how many Bitcoin I own, right? It'd be kind of tacky to do that, but they walk around like with their Rolexes and their Ferraris and stuff, and the stuff you can see. But what I mean, this is kind of a mental thing is like a lot of people, and we know this that a lot of people those are rented Ferraris, right? And especially in crypto, right? There's a lot of rented Ferraris
Yeah, we
at the
call it
conferences, and
LARPing, live action role
yeah,
play.
yeah, yeah, LARPing. There's a lot of LARPing going on, and but it's you can start to see the like get your fulfillment from seeing that bank account go from or that investment account go from 1,000 to 10,000. See it compounding. Start to kind of say like I'm making good decisions. I'm being good to my future self here, and see that as your point of pride versus like how big your house is or how how kind of jewelry you have. I mean, I'm not saying don't do the good stuff and don't don't indulge a little bit, but it's I think it's kind of where you find your identity because yes, it's like if you could have the same satisfaction taking that $5 that you were going to spend on coffee and spending it and buying $5 of a super high quality stock you're stoked about. And this is where community kind of gets involved too. This is where like Reddit and Discord communities, like getting some feedback, like basically being like, I just bought $5 more of my high conviction stock and I made coffee at home. That's a good decision. And those little tiny decisions just will add up over time. And everybody kind of just is like, if I can't have it now, I give up. That's not the way it really happens. I mean, you gotta, with technology, you guys might have like another 100 years ahead of you. You guys might be living to like 115. So like you got 100 years of compounding if you do it right.
Absolutely. Talk a little bit about your journey as a founder and as a CEO and as sort of the top brass in this sort of entrepreneurial environment, because this is something that a lot of folks in the chat I think aspire to, and that you could be a role
Yeah.
model in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, no, for sure. It's like it's the best if you could do it. I mean, there's like no question. It's like
Yeah, so talk about
it's
the
the
hard
greatest.
parts then. What's the
Yeah,
part that like all of this has been about funnels, right? And how most people don't end up making it to the finish line because they give up, a
yeah,
couple years down the pipeline, and folks don't hold their investments long enough to compound to where they should because they're looking for
yep,
that instant gratification. The same is true in being a founder. The same is true in entrepreneurship. Most people can't thug it out through the storms in order to make it to that finish line of being being your own boss is kind of quote unquote, but
yeah,
really it's that the investors become the boss. But yeah.
yeah. Like even be a creator, right? It's like really, it's a grind, right? Like those first. Again, those first, I've been actually posting, Henrik, and taking your footsteps, and I think that's the spirit of it. Is like I don't need to do TikTok posts. Like I could just say I'm done. I could have done that 20 years ago. But then what? Just gonna die, roll over and
Right.
die? Like what's the point? So I put myself out the very painful process of putting myself on TikTok, which I don't particularly like. It's vulnerable, right? You put yourself out there, people are judging you and calling you names and all sorts of stuff. And I think it's the ability, honestly, the real key to entrepreneurship is how much abuse can you take? Like just like how many times can you be punched in the face and just get back up and say thank you, may I have another? That's it's resilience is the nice way of saying it, but you'll have you know people, investors treating you poorly, customers treating you poorly. Um, Losing sucks. So when things don't work, everybody's sad. You're gonna lose. It's kind of like I got into like stoicism a little later in life, but like it kind of is like that stuff. Like you will all die. Like that is the end. The end is nobody here is living forever. So if you already know that you and all the people you love will get sick and die, and just start from that place, then maybe that person that hurt your feelings when they didn't told you they didn't want to invest in your idea was didn't really matter that much. Look, I think like it depends on the kind of entrepreneurship you want to do. Uh, if you want to like start a big company, you probably have to think about raising money. and that's just a practicality of it. If and I think in this age of AI, the idea you can probably do a lot more with a lot less. I mean, I know that Fosri is doing a lot more with a lot less because we're in the computer industry and in the software industry. But I think that applies in general. Like you can, definitely. I make content faster with AI, because I'm using Unvault. I'm able to kind of like, if somebody's like throws a stock I've never heard of, I'm able to jam it into Unvault. Actually, I would actually say, honestly, a life hack which nobody's doing except for me is use Unvault to make content for TikTok. Like it's
That's
or
high IQ.
SEC chat
Yeah.
because it's like because just like throw a stock in that somebody's talking about on Reddit. Go look at the price history on Yahoo Finance. You can look at my TikTok. I'm going to look at my TikTok to copy my format. Takes me 10 minutes to make one of those. And
A lot of
some will get like
impressions.
10,000 views.
People really resonate with what you put out. I mean, they look to you as an expert.
Honestly, but I think most of the people on TikTok now don't know who I am though. I'm like, it's like it's the For You page. Like I'm just strangers coming through. It's not my following per se. I think it's just like people want to know about stocks.
The quality
Like
of the
they're doom
information.
scroll, they're doom scrolling, and like everybody in the world's an investor at this point. Like literally everybody has a Robinhood account and a Coinbase account, and it's just like it's not a world where there's like some people invest, some people don't. So again, you could literally go on Vault and go on Reddit, find a random stock that you've never heard of, throw it into Unvault, see the buy rating. Don't give them the price target till the end of the TikTok though, right? You gotta like, you give them the like, this is why it might be cheap, and I don't know, like it's will they, won't they, and then at the end you hit them with a couple reasons, and just I'm just reading off a green screen, like I green screen it for my phone, and I just kind of read over my shoulder. I'm sure there's 1,000 better ways to do it too. By the way, I suck at this, right? So like, but I think that's like an issue, like using AI to make to just kind of jam out high volume amounts of content. And if that, again, if that's what you want to do, is an interesting, sort of individual side hustle. Again, I wouldn't make that your primary thing though. Like I'd say if you're going to make it your primary thing to start a business, you probably need to be serious about it and like get co-founders and raise money and go ask your family for some money and see if they laugh at you or whatever. But if you want to do it kind of as your job and your side hustle, kind of legs of a stool, like you have your job, you have your side hustle, and then you have your investing, which I think that's a pretty safe way of doing it. Yeah, but it's resilience. I mean, honestly, the whole thing is resilience. I mean, can you take that suffering stoically, or
I'm up
do
here
you
getting punched in the
crumple?
face all the time, so we know how it goes.
Yeah,
uh, yeah, the app is called Unvault. It's available everywhere. You just look up Unvault, and then the website is secchat.io. Both of which pretty much available from a screen of your choice. Just go and track it down.
yep,
And they're both, as you've heard earlier in this, intensely dialed in AI resources for doing market research. Way more efficient, way better outcomes than looking at ChatGPT or just asking around on the internet. Uh, Obviously, not financial advice. Do your own research, but go get your hands on the tools because they are pretty impressive, honestly. I have a question about when, if ever, crypto support is going to come. I know crypto doesn't have SEC filings for the most part, but
yeah.
altcoins, meme coins, everything in between coins.
Well, I mean, it's the same white paper issue, right? I mean, the white papers are if you're going to do the long form research, like you're going to read the white paper of Solana versus Ethereum Classic. Like I don't know, like is Ethereum Classic already the argument's holding water anymore, right? Like, and just because the thing is down, the key mistake people make is they judge goodness by the price because and actually it's a funny thing. Like I'll actually say this, like Warren Buffett, he once said something very 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 profound. Whether or not a stock goes up or down, it does not mean I made the right or wrong decision. So the conflating your asset going up with you making the right decision is probably the most dangerous thing in the world. It's a beginner's luck, or like I'm good at slot machines. Like I won the first time, right? It going down. If it went down and you still feel like your research was good, you should not then feel like all of a sudden like you could think about it. It can make you question your research, make you kind of reevaluate. And so I think that's the nature of like with white papers and with crypto and with this is AI is unemotional. It doesn't give a shit if it was wrong yesterday. It doesn't even like human analysts. Like people who have price targets. If you ever follow like Wall Street Journal, CNBC, like you always get these price targets, and they're always anchored to the last one, right? And they always change it after the stock market goes down, right? The stock market goes down, and then they're like, "Oh, we're actually lowering our price target." It's like, no shit, the stock market just went down, right? AI doesn't have any of that baggage, no ego. So I think that's actually a real advantage. So anyways, to answer your question, yeah, crypto is on our radar, and I do think it has advantages from the white paper perspective and the no legacy reputation emotion standpoint. I mean, if you've been calling bull on Bitcoin Cash for the last 6 years, you're gonna be hard pressed to be like, you know what, I was wrong, right? Or I guess what would be Ethereum right now? Which one's been kicking rocks for 5 or 6 years?
All of them, man. I mean, we're in such the thick of a bear market in crypto right now that everything is down pretty much where it was 5 years ago. So you could pick a name out of a hat, and it's all looking pretty miserable. But again, that doesn't mean we're wrong. It just means we're early.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. You can. Yeah, I think it's really important. Like you don't let the tail wag the dog. Like the price does not determine whether or not you were right or wrong, and the price should not determine your emotions. It should not determine your future actions. If something you really believe in is down, if a stock I really have a high conviction of goes down, I'm happy. I get to buy more for less. And by the way, with stocks, because of the fact that they have a money tree that can buy its own stock, even if I do nothing, they're buying their own stock at a lower base. So
let's do a demo. Do you have a stock
yeah.
that you've been keeping your eyes on? Something?
Not really. I mean, honestly, I look at stocks all the time, every day. So I can just pull up
That's
like
the number
one I
one
just did.
question that I always get in my chat is like, what in particular coin can I buy right now for free, easy money? And I'm sure you get it all the time in the stock market as well.
Well, I mean, the one that I'm personally buying, I bought today, is Adobe. And again, this is one that is a battlefield stock in the sense that some people just think AI is going to crush it, but let me kind of put a date range that's not going too far back. So when I look at Unvault, and I assume you can see my screen here.
Everyone can see it.
Can you see it, or? I see it. Okay, yeah. So it has this rating system of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 is just kind of meh, hold. It's about where its fair value is. 3 means it's a buy, and 4 means it's a very positive buy. Unvault almost never gives something a 4, so it's very, very, very rare out the gate. And then if you look at you can look at the individual reports. Again, these are each run individually. This in the middle here is a clustering of how similar they are using some vector technology to kind of look at how similar the reports are. And again, the point isn't that these at the edge aren't worth looking at. It's that the ones in the middle are just more similar to each other. So I like to start in the middle. And again, you just pick a report, pick any one. You can read 1, read 10, and not to spend too much time on it. But probably the most important thing out the gate is you look at the bull, base, and bear odds right here. And between the bull and the base case, you have to get 85% chance. And again, this is not investment advice, and this is not, for sure in the future, but according to the statistics of this AI, 85% chance. And you don't see that very often. And in terms of the confidence, it's very confident. And again, the bear case of Adobe is very straightforward. It's basically there's going to be C compression because everybody's just going to be using Chat GPT or Claude to generate all their images, and you won't need creative workflows anymore. You won't need. But what's missing is that the people who buy this, and again, I can go into the report, and the report will get into this, but in the interest of time, I'll just kind of summarize because I've read this 100 times. That what it's missing is that the companies that buy Adobe, like 80% of Adobe, 85% of Adobe's revenue is from companies, not from individuals. So a lot of individuals like, I hate Adobe. I stopped using Adobe, but it's like, that doesn't matter. Like, it's like such a small percent. So you say you're Disney, right? And you have a creative workflow. It's not one artist in isolation. It's 100 creative people working together, right? And Adobe's actively integrated AI into their product suite. They're making like $600-700 million run rate right now on token usage. So what happens if there's seat compression? Token usage goes up, right? It's like, it's not a one or the other, right? It's like Fozzie would be the first to tell you, yeah, we don't have as many junior programmers anymore, but we're spending thousands of dollars a week on tokens programming. I mean, the money, it's a savings, but it's not like an efficiency effect, but there's still a new revenue stream and a new efficiency coming in. And then the last thing is the people who buy this, like a Disney, are extremely sensitive about copyright. They're extremely sensitive because last thing they want to do is put out a character, market it, and then somebody comes out and says, that's my likeness. Like, you literally put a cartoon of me. So Adobe has, not only in their Firefly, it's trained to be not on any sort of copyrighted material, unlike all these other AI systems, are basically trained on the open internet. I'm not against it at all, but it's, just kind of knowing the customer of Adobe. They also have a legal indemnification system. So they're actually like an insurance when you use their system to generate AI content, that if you throw up an ad for Gillette or whatever, that, and this happens all the time, by the way. It's kind of a thing where, like, you see an ad and then somebody on YouTube goes, that ad looks exactly like me. Well, why do you think? Because Google changed Gemini on all the YouTube videos. So of course there's going to be an AI that looks like Henrik out there, an AI picture, right? So this is a good one. It's, again, not investment advice, but look at another one, just back to reports, clear out Adobe here. So another one, like, I don't even know what this company is.
How long did it take you to generate that report? I mean, it took you less than 2 minutes to have all that
yeah,
info.
well, these were generated. So if I'm going to generate a brand new report right here, like if I'm going to put a new stock in, it'll take about 15 minutes because it's 15, 20 minutes, especially yeah. So, but what I've done is, any time a report's been generated, we just share it communally. Like, if I look up a stock, everybody on the system's welcome to look at it for free. There's no reason to gatekeep any of this stuff. It's so once you're in the system, you can just you can actually go to the report section and just scroll. And again, a lot of these companies I've never heard of. This was just somebody in my TikTok comments said they're looking at this, and a lot of times those are like penny stocks and kind of junky stocks, but this one is actually like, it's a positive. So INGN, I don't even know what they do, to be honest.
And that's
the power
tool right there too, where you're seeing what other folks are looking at, and that kind of guides your eyes around.
Exactly. Somebody says something on CNBC, on Reddit, you can kind of quickly say, like, should I even bother with this? Like, I literally will hear 7 things on CNBC, I'll throw them in on Vault, and like, I'm like, oh, like, all of these are garbage. They're all ones. They're all zeros. Because, people have to put out something every day, right? It's like, it's the content grind. And so you're not going to you can't just come on every day and be like, Adobe's a good stock. Adobe's a good stock. And by the way, if they do that, they're just going to get slammed because Adobe's gone down already. So like, hey, bag holder, but that's missing the point. When a stock's gone down by a whole bunch, it doesn't mean it's going to continue to go down. It means that it's cheaper than it was. Would you rather buy your burrito for cheaper or more expensive? Of course, you'd rather buy your burrito cheaper. But for some reason with stocks and crypto, people are like, I want to buy it more expensive. So again, I don't even know what this company does, but I can just go in here and, it's a positive. It's not a very positive, but, I can go and say right here why it might be cheap. Inogen trades at a massive discount with enterprise value of roughly 50 million against a market capitalization of 172 million. So, already it has that's it. Its enterprise value is 50 million, driven by pristine balance sheet, holding 120.9 million in cash and zero debt. The So basically, it's almost trading at its cash level. It's like 50 million above its cash level.
That's crazy.
That's a big part of this.
Yeah.
The market have aggressively discounted stock because of core operating business remains GAAP unprofitable, and lacks durable economic moat. Specifically, investors are reacting to a 5.1% in U.S. B2B Q4 2025 and severe working capital outflows of 26.9 million for the full year. The market is skeptical of management's claim that Q4 revenue drop was merely a timing shift of orders the first half of 26, pricing the company essentially as a melting ice cube rather than a successful turnaround. So speculative. So this is speculative. It's get to the Buffett verdict. It's low confidence, while Inogen offers a profound margin of safety with 120 million in cash, or say 70% of its market capitalization. The display shows strong owner through 30 million in buybacks. The underlying business violates core Buffett principles. So I probably wouldn't make this investment. But I've literally saved myself like an hour, and again, I wouldn't say now if this company dropped to 120 million around what's cash in the bank, I might change it. Unvault would change. So it's part of being a good investor is also just being aware of a lot of stuff at once, so that when the prices go down and keeping track of that's really hard. And that's again why Unvault is like, why we create it and why I use it every day, is that keeping track of that stuff becomes very intractable. Like you're keeping track of 150 stocks. This one has a reason at $120 million in cash in the bank with no debt. If it ever dropped to, what they call a net, where it dropped below 120 million in cash, it's like trading 100 million cash, which has happened historically, then it just might be a smoke and buy, right? Or if their business turns around, right? If you have this kind of business with this kind of base in cash and they all of a sudden are GAAP profitable because management isn't lying, or exaggerating.
No, that's awesome.
So
Chat,
yeah,
let's get some more questions from you guys. You've been getting a lot of good feedback in the TikTok chat. Folks have been saying
I got to jump in about 5 minutes though.
Okay, 5 minutes. Chat, last chance. Or if you have any parting words, you can just give the parting words, and then if any questions pop up, we'll drop them on them.
No, I think I've said a lot of good words. I think that the biggest thing is a stock isn't a squiggly line on a chart. Okay, a stock is a fractional ownership of an entire business. So you look at that one share of stock the same as if you would own the entire business. And if you had to buy one business for your family business, you're back in the olden days and there was no stocks, you would be very careful about that one business you were going to buy, right? So when the stock goes down or the stock goes up, it's the same thing as if somebody comes to me and offers me $100,000 for my house. Fuck off. Ignore them. The term Buffett Graham they use is Mr. Market. Mr. Market is very manic depressive, but he's your servant. He will come to you slavishly every single day and offer you a price, and it's up to you to say F off, or I'll buy or sell the stock. And he will not be offended. Like Mr. Market doesn't care. He will come back to you the next day and the next day. It is you who are in control, but most people let the market control them. And I'd say it's a cliche, but temperament is way more important than intellect in investing.
Wow,
this isn't a field where people with 150 IQs excel.
Now that's elite ball knowledge. Then I have a question. What are things that you do to train your temperament? Real life things, like do you meditate? Do you exercise regularly? What are like how do you keep a level head on your shoulders, bull or bear?
Well, I think I do exercise. I don't meditate. I don't have the patience for meditation, but I've tried. But I do exercise. But I think more than anything, it's being aware of these principles. Being aware of the inherent flaws in my own nature and and not trust my instincts. I'm not to actually like know that if I feel bad because the market's down, or I feel good because the market's at an all-time high. If Bitcoin's over 100,000, I feel good. That's a bad thing. That's actually like, that's actually a negative feedback emotion because you're essentially just dripping the dopamine mad rat in your head. You're dripping the mad rat more dopamine, right? And you don't want to do that. You want to be uh, level-headed in both scenarios. And if you feel bad when your stocks are down, then you got to reevaluate. If you feel really, really good when your crypto's up, that also is a real warning sign. And so it's that temperament that matters more than anything. And that's where I go back to tools, and I think Unvault for crypto would be very useful, if nothing else, from a temperament standpoint, right? It's just something where I can look at this and be like, okay, the stock tanked 20%. I can even go. I often will not hit the news first. I'll often go into Unvault and be like, why did this stock I like go down 20%? And it'll go and give me the reason, and I'll be like, did that make sense? Was that justifiable? It'll go back and do the research for me. So before I can even get myself all wound up in the news and opinions on Reddit, I've gotten a very platonic, plain answer from AI, which is very satisfying for me from a temperament standpoint.
Brilliant. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
I
It's
think
been
one
legendary.
I don't believe had a I think I don't believe had a question.
Yeah.
Did I miss
There's a
something?
couple questions. He says, you mentioned earlier that you've had issues with large data sets. I've run into the same problem when working with ChatGPT and similar tools. Is there a way you approach using AI to analyze large and diverse data sets beyond SEC filings?
Yes. So we have a technology called Agentic Beacon that handles this that we are looking at commercializing, but it is not a solved out of the box problem in the AI world right now.
And another question was, could you use this technology to look at LAES? Is that a stock, or I'm not sure what that is.
LAES.
Looks like it's
So
there.
Well, I will caveat one thing though. I will caveat something though, that this is probably from much older reports. So Unvault, we don't really, we've been using it for a long time. So I would generally say you want to look at within the last month, and I don't have any reports in the last month. So I'm not gonna. And again, it would take about 15 minutes to run. But look, secchat.io is out there, and you know you can go there and run it and do it, play with it yourself and enjoy.
So drop all the links and apps that you want people to visit. So it's secchat.io. I'll put that in the chat right now. Then the app is called Unvault, and it's available on any app store. Uh, Anything else that you would guide folks to? People asked your TikTok. What's your TikTok at?
At Intangible Investor.
At Intangible Investor. All right. Well, we did pretty good. We had about 1,600 unique viewers watching the stream, in addition to the dedicated Chads in our chat. Everyone had nice things to say. People were celebrating your wisdom and your insight. Some of the highlights.
Appreciate it.
W quote. Everyone was asking your TikTok. Like a dozen people asked for your TikTok. People talking about delayed gratification. This guy is definitely a Ramsey fan. Do you know Ramsey?
I know of him. I don't listen to him, but I mean, I think, nothing I'm saying I invented, by the way. This is all stuff that's been said for, 100 years from people like Ben Graham and passed on to Warren Buffett, who's, he's 90, 99 or something, so like, this is not new. It's just that it kind of has to be relearned every generation. So every generation relearns it. It's one of these kind of what Battlestar Galactica was like. Kind of goes through a full cycle of rebirth every, So the idea that you need to be patient and have high conviction is an old concept that I did not invent.
They said, this is awesome. It's like a podcast. This is super alpha, facts, great lesson, etc., etc. Folks just had nice things to say. But yeah, you did
Awesome.
splendidly. I really appreciate you taking time out of
Great.
your busy schedule. The app is Unvault. The website is secchat.io. Randy, thank you so much for your time. I hope this was
Yeah,
worthwhile for you too. I think you look like you were having a good time.
absolutely. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Oh yeah, anytime, man. Take care. Enjoy
All right.
your day.
Yeah.
Have fun at your meeting or whatever you got going on right now. Peace.
All right. Later, man.
Cheers. It
Peace,
was good.
everybody.
Wonderful. Yeah, that was awesome. Good stuff. Epic class right there. And we certainly will do it another time. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Yeah, no, Randy's a legend. So make sure you tap in with him on his TikTok. Make sure you download the Unvault app and go to the secchat.io site, which was built by Fosri, who also built Lucky Miner. So make sure you guys also load up your Lucky Miners. Good stuff. Yeah, Fosri is a very busy guy. He's in high demand. I mean, the guy shifts like nobody's business. Puts out on all ends of the spectrum, building some pretty incredible stuff. Really, you should be thanking Fosri for setting this up. I didn't do anything. I just got a text from Fosri 2 days ago, like, "Yo, can we come on?" Hell yeah. How did it go from your perspective, Fosri? Let me switch these tabs back over. Went great. Love the comments. Nice. Yeah, I think it went pretty well. I mean, Randy's awesome. He's truly a legend. Definitely check out SEC Chat. You'll be merging a lot of the features into Unvault. So this is something that I didn't know about SEC Chat. There are two separate interfaces, and SEC Chat, like, it's two different techs. Will both of them spit out different information? Interesting. And SEC Chat is totally free to use, but that's not going to last forever. Okay, for sure. Good stuff. Caster, I will never DM you. The person DMing you was an imposter. There's a lot of imposters out there. I'll never ask you for money. I'll never tell you to invest in anything, etc., etc. Eventually merge back into Unvault and part of our premium offering. Chat, everyone download the Unvault app in the App Store. Go check it out. I'll drop a link. I'll drop a link to everything in the Discord. But yeah, it's a banger. Just from my perspective, I'm not somebody that knows a lot about the stock market because I don't do stocks typically. But as a crypto person, if I did want to know information about the stock market, I would use Unvault because it's a pretty incredible stack of information that I'm not going to get anywhere else. And so it frees up my time that I don't have to spend a lot of time, diligently, religiously studying the stock market when I could just crunch some numbers inside of an AI tool and get pretty above average results in terms of my information in the stock market. Frees up my time to trade crypto. But yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. This has been a Crypto Rap exclusive. God bless you. God bless your portfolio. The recording for this class will be available to Alpha Pass members pretty shortly after this. But I'm going to take off from the stream. I'm going to go and touch grass because it's a beautiful day outside. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and be well until the next time. I'll be on a little bit later today. And we will have more alpha classes eventually. So tap in when we do. Cheers. Of course. Thanks for setting this up, Fazri. I appreciate you, bro. You should, I don't even know if I have Randy's number anymore, but maybe set up that group text or send me his number just so I can thank him for his time, pretty much. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you all. I'll see you guys when I see you guys. You're